Okay, so picture the scene. It's January 5th, 2026.
Mm-hmm.
You're doom scrolling on Instagram, probably putting something off.
Always.
And the feed is, the usual clutter. Avocado toast, some ad you don't read, and then you just stop. You hit a video that feels less like content and more like a movie.
Oh, I remember exactly where I was when I saw it.
Yeah.
It was grainy, black and white. It was screaming, cinema.
Precisely. You hear that sharp pop of a cork,
Mm-hmm.
the rustle of a tuxedo.
Right.
And then the first few chords of Willie Hutch's I Choose You start to fade in. And if you know anything about rom-coms or wedding reels...
That song is basically a marriage license. It's Pavlovian. You hear those notes and you start looking for a veil.
And there he is, center frame, Marcello Hernández, the breakout star from Saturday Night Live, the guy who made Domingo a thing.
A whole cultural moment.
He's standing at what is, without a doubt, a church altar. His mother, Isabel, is adjusting his bow tie, and she has, actual tears in her eyes.
And no caption. Nothing. Just vibes. It was a masterclass in building tension.
The internet just gasped. The D'Amato heartthrob was off the market.
Oh, the comment section was an absolute shambles. People were heartbroken, confused. They were convinced the wedding of the year was happening right under our noses.
But then the camera pulls back, the music swells, you're expecting the bride.
And?
Yeah.
No bride, no white dress.
There's just a giant cardboard standee, a poster for his Netflix special, Marcello Hernández, American Boy.
It was the ultimate troll job. I went from my heart is broken to, okay, I have to respect the audacity in about, 3 seconds?
The wedding was fake. The panic was real. But here's the massive irony we're digging into today. The woman behind the scenes. She is very real.
Very real.
And while everyone was freaking out about a fake wedding to a poster, she's been quietly designing a career that's, arguably more impressive than a Netflix special.
Welcome to StarScope Report. We're here to uncover the Hollywood drama, the music industry shakeups, and the real stories behind the fame.
Today, we are looking at this fascinating intersection of high-end, intellectual architecture and this very lowbrow physical comedy. We're breaking down the stunt that fooled the world, the real person behind Marcello's relationship, and the truth about those Sabrina Carpenter rumors.
And honestly, the story of who he's actually with is infinitely more interesting than any fake wedding. We're talking about someone who is literally building the future of art.
So let's get into the American Boy marketing masterclass first, because it wasn't just a prank. It was like a psychological experiment.
Totally.
That Instagram video drops January 5th, Marcello in the tux, popping champagne, hugging his mom. It played right into that parasocial bond fans have with him.
And it worked because the fans were already primed for it. We have to give credit to the internet sleuths here.
Oh, for sure.
Because months before, back in October, his actual girlfriend, who we will get to, had posted an Instagram carousel. And buried deep in that slide deck was a picture of wedding dress shopping.
Exactly. The breadcrumbs were there. So when Marcello drops this video, everyone's brain immediately connects the dots.
We saw the dress. Now we see the tux. It's happening.
It's a dangerous game, though. Teasing a marriage to a fan base that's, obsessed with you.
Oh, yeah, you risk alienating people.
Yeah.
But the reveal on January 7th, where he's wiping a tear and looking at a Netflix poster, it was just self-aware enough to work.
He didn't marry a poster, thankfully. But the relationship is very real, and this is where we need to shift focus. Because Amelia Batlle Cabral is not just an accessory on a red carpet. If you look at her background, she's a total creative force.
This is the part of the story I love. It's that classic opposites attract thing, but on a professional level. You have Marcello, the loud, energetic comedian.
Right.
And then you have Anna, a super high-powered intellectual architect. And we are not using architect lightly here.
Not at all. She grew up in the Dominican Republic, so they share that heritage. But look at her education. She's a 2018 grad of SCAD, Savannah College of Art and Design. But then she goes to the Yale School of Architecture for her master's. She graduated in May 2023.
And Yale architecture is, it's arguably the most prestigious, most rigorous program in the country.
Yeah.
That is intense.
But it's where she's working now that really blew my mind.
Yep.
She is currently an architect at Taller Frida Escobedo. Now, for anyone listening who doesn't, subscribe to Architectural Digest,
We need to explain why that name is a huge deal, a mic drop, like you said.
it is huge. Frida Escobedo is a Mexican architect who is currently designing the new wing at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York.
Let's just pause on that. The Met.
The Met.
We're talking about the absolute pinnacle of the art and design world. This isn't just, renovating a kitchen somewhere. This is global stuff.
She's part of a team defining how modern art will be viewed for the next century.
Exactly. So you have Marcello, who's making jokes about his mom hitting him with a flip-flop.
The Shankla.
Right. And Anna, who is casually designing the future of the Met. It's a power couple dynamic, but it just feels so substantial.
I was reading this interview she did with Speciwomen, and her design philosophy is fascinating. She talks about this idea of sí a todo.
Yes to everything.
Yes to everything. It's about being open to research, to the unknown.
Which is funny, right? Because yes and is the golden rule of improv comedy.
Oh, I didn't even put that together.
So they actually have this weird thematic bridge between their worlds. Improv is about accepting chaos. And her architecture, she talked about being at Yale during the pandemic, was kind of about that too. She called it punk and experimental.
It just shows a level of depth that perfectly balances Marcello's whole persona. She's designing furniture, working with volcanic rock in Mexico City. She even designed a fashion show set using raw building insulation.
She's unreal, and Marcello calls her that himself.
He does. But even with a Yale architect by his side, the Hollywood machine, it couldn't help itself. It had to try and push him into a more traditional celebrity pairing.
Rumors? Oh, we have to talk about the Sabrina Carpenter rumors.
This was the narrative everyone wanted, right?
The pop princess and the comedy prince.
Yeah. And that leads us to this moment where a very famous podcast host basically tried to intervene in Marcello's love life.
It was so awkward.
But before we get to that, let's talk about why the world was so convinced this was happening.
It was the Domingo effect. That SNL sketch was a cultural reset. It was already a hit with Ariana Grande, but when Sabrina Carpenter hosted,
the chemistry was undeniable.
Palpable. And then you have her short and sweet tour in L.A. That was November 2024. Sabrina does this bit where she arrests someone in the crowd.
We're being too high.
And she arrested Marcello.
The internet lost its mind. And then came the photo.
The couch photo. The two of them sitting super close. It just set the blogs on fire. Everyone wanted them to be the new it couple.
And it makes sense on paper. Two young, massive stars at the peak of their fame. It's the story we're all conditioned to want.
And that pressure really came to a head on January 26, 2026, when Marcello went on the Armchair Expert podcast with Dax Shepard.
Dax, he did not read the room. Or maybe he did, and just decided to ignore it.
He really did not hold back. He's sitting there with Marcello, and he basically tells him, if I'm you again and I'm 28, I'm going to try to date her Sabrina with all my might.
And he even admitted he was newly obsessed with her. He was practically begging Marcello to go date Sabrina Carpenter.
It was such an uncomfortable listen. You have this, senior industry figure just projecting his own fantasy onto this young guy. It felt like weird peer pressure.
Like an uncle at Christmas dinner.
Totally.
But Marcello's response was just a masterclass in setting boundaries. And in loyalty, he shut it down immediately. He said, quote, I'm in a relationship with a Dominican girl.
And then he adds,
she's an architect. She's unreal. She went to Yale.
I love that he led with her accomplishments. She went to Yale. It wasn't just, I have a girlfriend, back off. It was, I'm with someone extraordinary and you need to respect that.
And checking the timeline, this all tracks. They've been linked since January 2025. They were seen at dinner at Maria. They sort of soft launched at a Met Gala after party in May.
And they made their official red carpet debut at the Happy Gilmore 2 premiere in July 2025. Which, by the way, Happy Gilmore 2, what a year for him.
Massive. And aesthetically, they just fit. They even did the couple costume for Halloween in 2025.
As Gomez and Morticia Addams.
Which is the perfect aesthetic for them. The devoted, passionate, kind of manic husband.
And the elegant, mysterious, intellectual wife. That's literally their dynamic.
Going back to that Dax interview, though, I think what stands out is how he handled the Sabrina topic. He didn't dismiss her. He praised her.
Right. He said, she's down to clown and she's like my sis.
He was friend-zoning the biggest pop star on the planet, but he did it with so much class. He kept it respectful to Sabrina while drawing a hard line for Anna.
He's loyal, he's funny, and he's obviously successul. But let's pivot to the work itself, because the fake wedding was just the packaging for the product. His new special, American Boy. And while the marketing was fun, the actual content has sparked a pretty big debate.
It's not just jokes about dating. It's about the immigrant experience, his family, and some observations about women that have Reddit users completely split.
Stay tuned, because we are about to discuss why Marcello thinks your bathroom routine is basically a horror movie.
And why some fans are calling his family stories trauma bonding. Plus, The text he sent a reality star about cheating rumors that just proves he's on a different planet than the rest of Hollywood.
But first, if you're loving this deep dive into the lives of the stars you're obsessed with, hit that subscribe button. We're tracking the Happy Gilmore 2 press tour very closely, and you won't want to miss what Bad Bunny does next.
So, American Boy. Dropped January 7th, 2026. Hit the Netflix top 10 right away.
His first solo stand-up special, filmed in Miami, it's all about that first-generation American experience and the protective mom archetype.
But there were a few specific jokes that really got people talking. He has this whole bit about dating where he says men pay for dates not out of chivalry, but because women go into debt just getting ready.
The violent life bit, I would admit, as an observation, it was pretty sharp. Maybe a little exaggerated, but sharp. He calls a woman's bathroom Dexter's laboratory.
It's such a vivid image. He describes the whole process, the waxing, the plucking, the makeup. He says, if the eye could talk, it would say, please no more pencil.
It's funny, but it also touches on the whole performative nature of beauty standards, you know? He jokes that by the time a woman gets to the date, she's physically traumatized and broke, so the least a guy can do is buy the pasta.
He also compares breakups. He says women get unconditional support from their friends no matter what. But men
get a trip to Chili's.
It's that classic men are from Mars, women are from Venus comedy, but sort of updated for 2026.
However, not all the feedback has been positive. And this is where we have to look at the reception impartially. The special was a hit, numbers-wise, but there's been a big discussion on the Live from New York subreddit about his family stuff.
Right, and this is where the cultural context gets really tricky. Marcello leans heavily into his upbringing, specifically his mother's physical discipline.
Yeah. There's a bit about Anna from CPS that some users found hilarious and relatable, especially to the Latin experience. But there was another group that felt he was romanticizing trauma or glamorizing beating kids.
It's a tension we see a lot in comedy right now. Where's the line between reclaiming your past with humor processing that chancla culture and normalizing behavior that we now see as harmful?
Some fans loved the Full House and Coliseum bits. They found joy in that shared experience. But others felt the focus on his mom getting physical was repetitive and a little uncomfortable to watch now.
It really raises the question of audience. For a lot of first-gen kids, laughing at that shared experience is a form of bonding. It's relief. It's like saying, we survived this.
Sure.
But for a wider audience, or for people who just see those dynamics differently, it can be jarring. It's interesting to see that divide play out online.
Speaking of online chatter, we have to mention one last rumor before we wrap up. The Paige DeSorbo situation. Oh, this was a great example of media literacy. Paige DeSorbo from Summer House, she texted Marcello because rumors were flying that she cheated on her boyfriend with him.
Now, normally, a celebrity would panic. They'd call their publicist, draft a carefully worded denial for People magazine.
Right.
But Marcello, his response was just perfect. He didn't panic. He just texted her back. Yeah.
It just shows he doesn't take the celebrity rumor mill seriously at all. He knows it's a game. He treats the gossip with the same humor he treats everything else.
He framed a cheating rumor as a compliment.
It's honestly refreshing. He's not precious about his image in that same way.
So to recap all of this, Marcello Hernandez has successfully used a fake wedding to launch a real comedy special, all while protecting a very real, very high-profile relationship with a rising star in architecture.
And if you think about it, he's managed to have his cake and eat it too. He gets the heartthrob buzz from the Sabrina rumors, the devoted partner credit with Anna, and the comedy star status with the Netflix special.
Which raises an interesting question. In an era where every celebrity dates another celebrity just to double their fame, is the ultimate power move actually dating a Yale architect who builds museums?
It seems like Marcello is building a foundation that's actually designed to last, not just a trend.
You've been listening to StarScope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.